Alright, shalom. This the brother CHAARAWTAZA and the brother Kayal from just GMS Florida.
Shalom.
Shalom. This the brother, brother came up from Jacksonville, so we're gonna do a little sit down together. First thing is that this is a vocabulary lesson. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna go on and we're gonna explain etymology. We're gonna explain root words, and we're gonna explain prefix and suffix. Alright, just to explain the English language a little bit so that you brothers can understand words without having to get a dictionary all the time. It's beneficial because sometimes people come up to you in the highways and Esau try to say some big word thinking that you won't understand it, but if you understand root words and then prefixes and suffixes, then you'll understand what he's saying without, really having to go get a dictionary. Alright, so we got this video, alright, it's called How the U.S. Education System Fails Kids. And we're going to play a little bit of this, and then we're going to go into the, sit down. So here you go.
CBS reports where America stands. Despite decades of reform attempts and billions of dollars of investment, the American education system badly needs improvement.
It's not where it needs to be. There's too many places that aren't doing well.
The report card shows only 34% of 8th graders are proficient in math, 29% in science, 33% in reading. Compared to other countries, American students score near the bottom, 21st out of 30 in science, and it's even more bleak in math. They're 25th.
Good. One sausage.
Those in the trenches, like Washington, D.C. School Chancellor Michelle Rhee, say the reason is not the kids, it's the system.
In society, there is not a particularly high regard for education.
Because she said, in the society, education, which they really want to say wisdom, wisdom and shit, is not a high priority. So that brings me to the book of Ecclesiastes.
Exactly, because the thing is the priority in society is to make you robots or to train you just to get jobs. It's not really wisdom, okay?
Right. Oh yeah, that goes into what we're gonna break down too.
Yeah, it's not really wisdom. It's just to train you into being a slave in America, man.
All right. So Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low places. So folly is foolery. Foolishness is set in great dignity, and that's what they push out. When you go to school, if you were smart, like I was saying in one podcast, if you were smart, they gonna be picking on you and shit and trying to, they want you to be a fucking fool. So folly is set in great dignity in America. That's why, according to this report, the school system is failing them. And when, like the brother was saying, when you look up the word education.
Exactly, and then they teach folly in school, man. You go there, they teach you about the
bullshit.
The evolution theory.
Yeah, theories. They're teaching you theories.
Yeah, theories, exactly. They're teaching you about the Big Bang theory.
You came from a monkey.
Yeah.
So this is the word education. Alright, it's a noun. It says education. Child rearing. Also the training of animals. The training of animals. It says from Middle French education, 14th century, and directly from Latin educatio nem. It says from past participle stem of educare, see educate, originally of education in social codes and manners, meaning systematic schooling and training for work. Okay, it's from 1610. So education is really the training to train you to work, man. It's not to train you to be able to think on your own and have wisdom and understanding and to be a scholar, man.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons they don't teach etymology in schools. And then if you think about it, when you go to school or college, you take up a major. Okay, and when you go to a job, they want to know what your major was because you was being trained to work at their job. You're going to college being trained in order to be a businessman or
to work somewhere, man.
A doctor, yeah, exactly. You're going to law school to be a lawyer.
Pharmacist.
Exactly, a pharmacist, and be a witchcraft, to be a pharmacist.
Yeah, so education, really education has nothing to do with wisdom. So when you go to school, they don't teach you the things that you need to understand to gain wisdom, such as etymology, such as the understanding of the English language going into root words, prefixes and suffixes, the understanding of science, real science. Exactly. The word science means knowledge. Understanding of mathematics, okay? The understanding of the operations of the heavens and the operations of the earth. They don't teach you that in school because they're giving you an education, which education means to train for work.
Exactly, like the brother said. And when they teach you science, science means to know, okay, or the knowledge of. But when you go to school and you think of the word science, you're thinking about biology or space or something of that sort. You're not really, science can mean just the knowledge of anything, okay? It doesn't have to mean exactly what they teach you in school.
Right. So let's go back to that video.
For example, more money for a successful charter school means less for public schools.
Too often people think, well, everybody in education is just all about the kids. But it's an industry like any other where you have a variety of interests.
The end result? Only 70% of kids in this country graduate on time. In the District of Columbia, it's more like half. And it's not because the school system doesn't have any money.
We spend more money per child than almost any other urban jurisdiction in this country, and yet our outcomes are at the absolute bottom.
But
right, so, you know, like the video saying, people, you know, it's not because, oh, they, you know, it's because of the children stupid. It's because like any other, just like any other industry you got in America, you know, the pharmaceutical industry, education is an industry just the same. So it's all about money. Like these textbooks, if you ever been to college, a textbook can cost you $200 for one damn book. You know, you got to pay the college to go to school, okay, to go to college, to go to university. So it's an industry just like any other. So it's not about, you know, giving you wisdom and understanding. It's about getting money out of you.
Exactly. And I work at a college, you know, and they've been like $100 million dorm facilities, $23 million aquatic centers. Saying, but we get paid just a little bit over minimum wage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then the president of the school, which comes from the political party that was here, he used to be a mayor. Now he's the president of UNF. He gets paid 6 figures. He gets a car allowance, a house allowance. His wife gets allowance. So the education system is foolery, man. That's all.
It's folly, man.
It's folly, man.
All right, so we're gonna get that's why we're gonna get 2 Timothy chapter 2.
It's a big industry, man. It's a big, and then when you learn from these schools, you just learn to go to a company to help them make more money. Okay, you know, you get your money, you get paid or whatnot. But really, the industry, you'll never make as much as the industry because you're just a slave, and you just got taught, okay, by the ones that they put in to teach you or to train you to be a worker, man.
Like it should say training of animals.
Exactly. And like the guy said, the founder of the national education.
Yeah, Rockefeller.
He said he doesn't want a
nation of thinkers.
Nation of thinkers, but a nation of workers. Correct.
Yeah. Exactly. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15. It says, "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Exactly.
But shun profane and vain babbling, for they will increase unto more ungodliness." Man, you know, you shouldn't be dependent on these school systems and things like that. When we come into this truth, the Most High giving us the school, man, the schooling, wisdom and understanding. It's in the scriptures. And then you got brothers like the elders and the other brothers coming down from the elders that's teaching you, man, how to learn on your own, man. You know? So with that, you know, we're going to go into some etymology, what etymology is, Because when I was in school, I never learned etymology until I heard the elders. And then that's when I got into etymology and understanding words, prefixes and suffixes and root words, and understanding how words work, understanding the power of words until I seen the elders. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through the etymology. We're going to tell you what etymology is. The brother's going to do it. We're going to go through, word roots. We're going to go through prefixes and suffixes so you can get a better understanding of the scriptures. All right, so with that, go ahead, Al.
All right, this is a reference book, really. Okay, it's called Etymology by Alan S.C. Ross.
Right.
So I'm just gonna start at page 15. And first, get the breakdown of etymology before I read it.
All right. All right, so here you go right here. Etymology, it's a noun. It's from the late 14th century, etymologia. Fact of the origin and development of a word. From Old French, etymologie. Modern French, etymology. From Latin, etymologia. From Greek, etymologia, properly. Study of the true sense of a word. From etymon, true sense. That's what etymon means, true sense. Neither of etymos, true, real, actual, related to eidos, or true. Plus logia, study of, a speaking of.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. So basically, the true sense, or the study of true sense of a word. Okay, which is what etymology is. Now it says it's page 15 of the book Etymology by Alan S.C. Ross. Etymology is an esoteric subject and is therefore not possible to define its scope in a few words, nor indeed would this be desirable. It says etymology is a branch, and an important one, of a subject called philology, or alternatively or synonymously linguistics, which means the science of words.
You want me to get a definition for that?
Yeah, go ahead and get a definition for
philology.
Yeah, philology.
All right, philology. It says the study of literary texts and of written records, the establishment of their authenticity and original form, and determination of their meaning.
Exactly. So basically, it's the study. Okay, like the brothers just read in 2 Timothy 2:15, study to show thyself approved. It's the study of text and of written record. Okay, so what is the Holy Bible? The Holy Bible is text and written records. There's any history in here. Okay, it says this, and it's the establishment of their authenticity of the words in the Bible, the establishment of the authenticity, which means the realness or the truth or the true meaning of. Okay, like we just read in the etymology of the word etymology, the true sense. So,
true sense of the meaning of the word, man.
Exactly, it means the true sense of the meaning of the word. And by the way you figure that out is by studying, okay? And that's what etymology is basically, okay? The studying of the true sense. So read that one more time.
It says the study of literary texts and of written records, the establishment of their authenticity and their original form, and the determinant of their meaning.
Exactly. Ooh. Their original form. Okay. What did the word mean when it was originally written? When it was originally brought here on earth? When the word was originally handed down to the prophets from the Most High. Okay, what did the words mean?
Let me say this real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, if I read this definition again, it says the study of literary texts and of written records, which the Bible is a written record, the establishment of their authenticity in their original form, meaning the truth in their original form. It says, in the determination of their meaning. So in order for you to get a real understanding of what the Bible is saying, the meaning of the Bible, you have to understand the word, which goes into what the brother's bringing out, philology, man, and etymology. That's why we go into the etymology when we tell people what words mean.
Exactly.
Like we're gonna go into reconciliation. I think Paul said that we was given the gospel of reconciliation. So you have to understand what reconciliation means in the original sense in order to understand what the gospel of reconciliation means. Which then shows you that all the whole world can't be saved when you understand what reconciliation means.
Exactly.
But yeah. You want me to get the other definition? Or that's
no,
cool?
I'm gonna keep reading.
All right, go ahead.
It says I'll start from the beginning. So etymology is an esoteric subject. Exactly. Matter of fact, get that definition. The esoteric.
Right. Read that again.
It says etymology is an esoteric subject.
Okay. Esoteric. Understood by or meant for only the select few who have special knowledge or interest. Recondite. Poetry full of esoteric allusions, belonging to the select few, private, secret, confidential.
Exactly. Okay.
I got a scripture. Well, go ahead. See what you got to say.
Exactly. So, basically, the etymology, okay, or the studying of true sense of word, was only given to the select few. Okay, the ones that have special knowledge, the ones that really are going to use etymology, okay, for the will of the Most High. So this the order for us to bring this out, for brothers to understand what words mean, okay, and for brothers to understand the scriptures, okay, because it's a lot of words in the scriptures that mean something today that it didn't mean back then. All right.
I got two scriptures for you, man.
Go ahead.
All right. This is Sirach. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 22. It says, for wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many. Going into what that word esoteric means. This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. That's what the brother is telling you, going into the word esoteric, telling you that this etymology is going to be esoteric, man. And that the understanding of the Bible, the true understanding, like that word philology mean, the true understanding in its original meaning is going to be esoteric in nature, man.
Exactly.
So,
this Matthew 22 and 14 says, for many are called, but few are chosen.
Yep.
Okay. So the word esoteric, okay, means understood by or meant for only the select few who have special knowledge or interest. It says recondite, poetry full of esoteric allusion, which is just an example. It says belonging to the select few, private, secret, confidential.
Yeah.
Okay. So like in Matthew 13, when the Lord was speaking in parables, and the disciples asked him why he speak to them in parables, he said, because it's only for you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven.
I got
and
it.
for them it was not given. Exactly, Matthew 13. Okay, because it was confidential. So even understanding etymology is confidential, man. Okay, it's a secret. Even the guy that wrote this book knows that it's not made for everybody.
Matthew 13 and 10. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm gonna keep reading.
Alright, go ahead.
Alright, it says etymology is an esoteric subject, and it is therefore not possible to define its scope in a few words, nor indeed would this be desirable. Etymology is a branch and an important one of the subject called philology, which is the studying of the authenticity of words, or the science of language. It says, or alternatively, and synonymously linguistics. Before the subject of etymology can even be approached, it is therefore necessary for a reader to be very clear as to the true nature of philology, or the science of language. Since philology is not taught in the schools of English-speaking countries or in those of many other countries, okay, because what they teach us in English-speaking countries is descriptive grammar and prescriptive grammar, okay. Basically, you come up learning English, okay. So what they teach you is how to speak it correctly. Definition of the word descriptive grammar, which is what they teach in English-speaking school. Descriptive grammar and prescriptive grammar. Descriptive grammar says an approach to grammar that is concerned with reporting the usage of native speakers without reference to purpose, norms of correctness, or advocacy of rules based on such norms. Okay, basically, descriptive grammar is us speaking to each other without correcting each other's
like
dialect.
Dog, like dog.
Yeah, like dog.
Like dog. I ain't going to the store.
Yeah, like I ain't going to the store, instead of saying,
Hey, I'm not going to the store.
I'm not going to the store, which would be correct, which would be prescriptive grammar. Okay, which would get prescriptive grammar.
So you said this is what they teach in school?
Yeah, exactly. They teach prescriptive in school. Descriptive is what we speak.
Okay.
Descriptive is like
it's
what
slang.
we speak. Well, exactly, slang. Without exactly the native speaking, or the native tongue that we use. Like we use different languages from people in New York, because we from Florida. We use different slang from people in Texas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From people in California.
Right.
They use different. You know what I'm saying? That's even if we get around them.
They won't understand some of their
language.
some
of what they saying. We'll be like, what is
they
it?
call it dialects.
Exactly.
We speak different dialects. So our dialects, where opposed if you would be in the north or the south or the west, you know, it would be called descriptive grammar.
Exactly.
You know.
That's right.
But okay.
Now, prescriptive grammar is what the teachers teach in school. Now, in school we speak descriptive grammar. But when you go into the classroom, the teachers are teaching you prescriptive grammar. Okay, they are correcting your descriptive grammar,
which is your slang.
Exactly. Okay, or your dialect, or stuff that's passed down through your family that you might say. Okay. Now, the definition for prescriptive grammar, which is an approach to grammar that is concerned with establishing that is concerned with establishing norms of correct and incorrect usage and formulating rules based on these norms to be followed by users of the language. Because like when you go in school, your teacher, they matter of fact, the English book has a set of rules, okay, on how to write sentences,
pronouns.
If you see a comma, the pause, okay, how to use prefixes and suffixes or whatnot, right. Okay, like you said, nouns and pronouns and verbs. Okay, right. and when you're in class, I know I had English teachers that tried to teach me, did use prescriptive grammar correctness on me. By me, I was probably say, I ain't do no homework. They'll say, well, you're not even supposed to speak like that. You're supposed to say, I haven't done my homework. Okay, that would be prescriptive grammar.
But so they teaching this, they teaching prescriptive grammar, but they're not teaching philology or etymology, which is the correct usage of words.
Exactly.
They're just teaching you the established norms for today.
Exactly.
Which is which is prescriptive grammar, instead of teaching you etymology or philology, which is the correct usage of words when they came into the English language, or when they came into being. Yeah. Right, the true meaning of the word. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Exactly. They just teaching you whatever society is saying today, how not to use it or how to use it, basically.
Right, which is a dumbing down.
Exactly. So I'm gonna keep reading. It says, since philology is not taught in schools of English-speaking countries or in those of many other countries, and since it is not at all a self-evident subject, but rather one highly esoteric.
Highly esoteric, again, secret, not given to everybody. Read that sentence again.
It says, since philology is not taught in the schools of English-speaking countries.
Which is what you should be taught. Philology. The study of words in their original meaning. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, exactly. It says, or then you should be taught prescriptive grammar.
Right.
Or descriptive. Difference between prescriptive and descriptive grammar. But philology should have been the first thing that was taught in English-speaking schools, but they're not going to do that. It says, since philology is not taught in the schools of English-speaking countries or in those of many other countries, and since it is not at all a self-evident subject, but rather one highly esoteric, the general reader approaching it as a beginner must expect to have to devote a good deal of hard reading and hard work to its understanding.
Right, that's why scripture says study to show thyself approved. You know? Go
To
ahead.
get the understanding.
Oh yeah. You want me to get that one right now?
Yeah.
Alright, Proverbs chapter 4.
Yeah, come.
Alright.
I'll read it again. It says, since philology is not taught in the schools of English-speaking countries or in those of many other countries, and since it is not at all a self-evident subject, but rather one highly esoteric, the general reader approaching it as a beginner must expect to devote a good deal of hard reading and hard work to its understanding. Okay, it's the same thing with the Holy Bible, with the scriptures, man. You have to devote yourself to hard reading, man, in order to get the understanding. Okay, also with praying and fasting to the Most High for wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Okay, but you have to show your work. And that comes by reading. Okay?
I got a couple of scriptures now.
Go ahead.
Alright, this is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 5. It says, get wisdom and get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Wait, in order to understand the words of his mouth, you have to go back to the philology, which is the science of language, or the understanding of words in their true nature. Well, you know, hold on. That's all good. Yeah, you have to understand, you have to go back to the philology, which is the study of literary texts or written records, which the Bible being one. Alright, you have to, the study of the Bible or written record, the establishment of their authenticity in their original form. Okay? And the determination of their meaning. Okay? So, in order to understand the word, in order to get understanding and to understand the words of my mouth, as it says, you have to understand the literal words in their you have to determine their meaning in the original sense, which is the study of philology. Exactly. So brothers can say we're philologists.
Exactly.
But let's keep reading. It says, get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, with wisdom get wisdom, and with all thy getting get understanding.
Exactly.
Right? Was that it?
Yeah, that was it. It says, I'll read right.
Wait, no, that ain't it. It says, exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou doest embrace her. Like when we go out to camp, people hear us talking, they'll say, oh man, how do you know all this stuff? Where'd you learn from it? It's because we study, man.
Exactly.
We're fucking scientists, we're philologists, etymologists, we're everything under the heaven because we study.
Without going to the education system.
Without going to the fucking education system. You'd be surprised we fucking didn't do good in the damn education system, man.
For real.
It says, she shall give to thine head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Hear, O my son, and recite my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. That's it on that. I want to get one more thing out.
Alright, go ahead.
You had something to say?
Yeah, exactly. Because, like the brother said, we're philologists. etymologists, scientists. Okay, we might not be a scientist in the form of this wicked world. Okay, and how they perform science experiments and their witchcraft or whatnot. But when it comes to righteousness and wisdom, okay, with all of those things that I just named, okay, because we study to show ourselves approved, okay, through the will of the Most High.
Biologists,
Exactly.
you know, because we can break down to you Genesis chapter 1 and how everything was created. You know, we're fucking doctors. We can break down herbs,
Yeah.
things like that. Sometimes sicknesses. You know, with everything, man, through the power of YAHAWASHI.
That's right.
But I had the scripture right here. This is Sirach chapter 38, verse 24. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that had little business work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they education teaching you to learn how to go be a worker for somebody.
Exactly.
He that had little business shall become wise. How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow, and that glorieth in the gold, that driveth oxen, and that is occupied in the labors, and whose talk is of bullock? Let me skip down. It says, all these trust in their hands, and everyone is wise to do in his work. Without these cannot a city be inhabited, and they shall not dwell where they will, nor go up and down. It's talking about workers. It says, they shall not be sought for in public council, nor sitting high in the congregation. They shall not sit on the judgment seat, nor understand the sentence of judgment. They cannot declare justice and judgment, and they shall not be found where parables are spoken. Because they, like these people that's in this education system, they're not wise, man. They're just taught to be workers. Whereas us brothers in this truth, we're taught to learn wisdom and to learn how to use our brains and to think. Okay? It says, verse 34, it says, but they will maintain the state of the world, and all their desire is in the work of their craft. So wisdom come by leisure, man. Okay? So yeah, you can go back.
All right. Let me see. Alright, I'll start back at what it says, the general reader. It says, the general reader approaching it, which is talking about philology, or the science of language. It says, the general reader approaching it as a beginner must expect to have to devote a good deal of hard reading and hard work to its understanding, just as he would have this expectation if he were to start the subject of algebra from the beginning. It says, I therefore begin the present work with some account of the nature of philology or linguistics or the science of language. It says, in the course of this account, the definition and estimation of the nature of etymology will be reached. Philology or linguistic falls into two parts. The first part is either descriptive linguistics, and the second part is either historic philology or comparative philology. In case you like, I'm reading that again. It says philology or linguistic falls into two parts.
Well, hold up. So philology, which is the study of language in its original form, falls into two different categories.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
It says philology or linguistic falls into two parts. The first part is called descriptive linguistics. The second part is called historical linguistics or philology. Okay. It is possible to indicate the scope of descriptive linguistics in a short and non-esoteric manner, but it is not possible to do this for the historical linguistics or historical philology. Now, descriptive linguistics, okay, means the study of the grammar, classification, and arrangement of the features of a language at a given time without reference to the history of the language or comparison with other languages. Okay? So basically descriptive, if you read matter of fact,
man.
Yeah, exactly. Matter of fact, go ahead and get diachronic or historical philology.
Okay.
Okay, Okay, and this is the other second part of philology or linguistics or the science of language. It says historical linguistics, the study of changes in a language or a group of language over a period of time. Click on that. Exactly. So it says the study of language. Go back. It says the study of changes in a language or a group of language over a period of time. So one part is you reading something without the studying of the language or the changing of the language over the period of time since the word was first established.
Is that descriptive?
Yeah, that's descriptive. Okay.
Descriptive, the study of the grammar, classification, and arrangement of the features of a language at a given time without reference to the history of the language or comparison with other languages.
Exactly. So descriptive is when you're reading something and you're not comparing it to other languages or you're not referring to the history of the language.
Or the etymology?
Exactly, or the etymology.
The original meaning of the word when it came into being.
Exactly. So, for example, you can get, I think that was James.
James chapter 2 verse 1. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord YAHAWASHI, the Lord of glory, with respect of persons. For if there come unto you your assembly a man with a gold ring and goodly apparel, and they come in also a poor man and vile raiment, and ye have respect to him that weareth the gay clothing,
exactly,
and said to him, sit thou here in a good place, and say to the poor, stand thou there, or sit not here under my footstool.
Exactly. Now, if you use descriptive linguistics in this term, which when you read in the Bible, okay, the best thing to do is use historical linguistics. But if you use descriptive linguistics in this scripture right here, you'll think that the man came in dressed like a homosexual, okay, or dressed in woman attire.
Yeah, the halter top on this shit.
Yeah, a halter top with some capris on and shit. Okay, you'll think that. But what is let's look up the word gay. Let's use historical linguistics because we are reading a historical text.
Alright, so we got James chapter 2 verse 3. I'll just read verse 3. It says, and ye have respect to him that weareth the gay clothing. So gonna click on C for concordance. Gonna go behind this word gay. And what we're doing is called historical
linguistics.
Historical linguistics.
Or etymology.
Right, or etymology. We're going to the original meaning of the word. Exactly. Instead of taking the
descriptive grammar.
Instead of taking the descriptive grammar, which would
linguistics.
Right, which would be the meaning of it today. We're gonna go to the historical.
Yeah. The historical linguistics are diachronic linguistics.
Alright, so it's Lampros. It says from the Greek it says shining, brilliant, clear, transparent, splendid, magnificent, splendid things, luxurious or elegance in dress or style.
Exactly. So that means he came in just dressed, just basically shining. Like he had his jewelry on, like they say today. When they had they all their name brand clothes on, all their jewelry and their chain and stuff, they said they're shining. Okay, but in those times it was called gay clothing, which just means brilliant. Okay, or splendid. Go back to it again.
Okay.
Which means shining, brilliant, clear, transparent, splendid, magnificent. It says luxuries. Okay, gold isn't gold a luxury? Gold, silver, or whatnot. So once you go back into the descriptive linguistics, you know that they was talking about the guy. He didn't come in with a halter top on, or weave in his head, or tight capris on, or nothing like that. He came in a magnificent garment with luxuries on, man. Gold, probably that gold chain, gold ring, all that good stuff. And back in those days, that was called gay clothing.
Right.
But if you use the descriptive linguistics, you would think that was called, that he was wearing something homosexual. Okay? Yeah. That's why you have to use historical linguistics or diachronic linguistics when you're reading the Bible.
Or etymology.
Okay. The science of language, basically. You just have to know the language. Okay, and where the authenticity of the language, man, where it originally came from and what was the meaning when it originally came on the scene.
Right, came into being.
Exactly.
Right. So this is what we have. This is not what they teach in school. They don't teach etymology or philology or historical linguistics.
Yeah.
They teach
linguistics.
They teach what's the other one called?
They teach prescriptive grammar and descriptive linguistics.
They teach descriptive linguistics and prescriptive grammar, which is what things mean today, instead of what they originally mean in the original sense. So this is how they corrupt the Bible.
Exactly. And the correct way to use it.
Right.
Basically, like when you see the word world, all you should think about is the world. Like the whole entire world.
Right.
Okay? You shouldn't go back into that word and study and see what does the word mean or what it meant back when the scripture was written in John 3:16.
That's what they'll teach you in school.
Exactly.
That's what they teach you in seminary school.
Exactly.
Alright, so going to the etymology of the word gay.
You went down to the bottom.
Yeah, I just want to get this real quick. Wait, it says ultimately origin disputed perhaps from Frankish guy, Old High German Y, or pretty. Let's go down to the bottom.
It says splendid up there too.
Yeah, it says gay, a noun meaning a usually male homosexual, is attested from 1971. So this will be descriptive linguistics. This will be the meaning of it today.
Exactly.
From 1971. And what it means today. This is what they would teach you in school. But it says in Middle English, it meant excellent person, noble lady, gallant knight, also something gay or bright, an ornament or badge.
Exactly.
From the 14th century.
Exactly. And it could be any word. It doesn't have to mean gay. You know, it could be a word that the word gay changed over to meaning homosexuality in 1971. But it can be a word such as Gentile, that probably transformed to being the other nations in 1606 or 1430. You get what I'm saying? So, but you have to know the Bible. These words came down, okay, especially back in the Old Testaments before those times. So you have to know what the words meant when the Most High, from the original state, okay, because the Most High created the language, and when He gave language, it was meant for you. It was meant for you to study it if you want to understand the Bible, man. Okay, it wasn't meant for you just to go off what people telling you. That's why it says in 2 Timothy 2:15, study to show thyself approved. Alright.
Alright, so yeah.
That's pretty much it on that.
But that was it?
Yeah, it's just two different parts and just showing how what to study and to know the difference between descriptive linguistics and historical linguistics, man.
Right.
Okay, because that's going to be a major part in you understanding the scriptures, the etymology of the words. Anytime you go into the Strong's Concordance, you're going into etymology. Right. When you look at Strong's Concordance, it might say "see this," and it might take you back to another word. See this word? It's the same thing as going back into history. Because the farther you go back into the word, the farther you're going back into the origin of the word. Okay, and the farther you go back is where you get the true meaning.
Right.
Exactly.
So now I'm going to go into another part of language, so you can get a better understanding when you're reading these scriptures. So I have this book right here. It's called what's your name of your book again? And the author.
It's called Etymology. It's a reference book. And the author is Alan S.C. Ross.
Yeah, put it up there one more time so you can. Okay. Alright, so the next thing we're gonna go into is which is another important part of understanding the scriptures, is suffixes, prefixes, and word roots. Understanding that words amalgamation of different words put together to make one word. Okay, and that they actually describe what the word means. So this book right here is called Dictionary of English Word Roots by Robert W.L. Smith. Alright, so that's the book right there. I don't know if you can see it.
And if I could say something, like, and in the education system, they taught you a little bit of this, what they called them compound words.
Yeah.
Like background, you know what I'm saying? So, but they really didn't teach you the true root words, like the small things about, like, such as re and, like, prefixes and suffixes, such as re and
going into Latin and shit, man.
Yeah, and they don't teach you. They just teach you the simple things that they want you to know, okay? You learn about compound words in elementary school.
Well, you know what? If I could just say this real quick, man. See, the thing is that in our schools, going back to, you know, the podcast did on education, see, in our schools, we don't learn this shit, man. They don't teach us these things in our schools. I know, like, in the bigger white schools, they teach them all this stuff, man. Matter of fact, like on the SATs, they have to go in and have to break words down. And they teach them that words in the English language goes back to Greek and Latin words. And then you have some other words from Germanic and things like that. So you have to understand some Latin and some Greek to understand English words. All right, because in the English language is made up of Latin and Greek and things like that. Root words that form the so-called whole word. Okay.
Exactly.
So if I can just read this real quick. It says, It says the most important sources of borrowed words have been near relatives of the native tongue, other members of the same Indo-European family, notably Old Norse, Latin, French, and Greek. That's where the English language has a lot of its words from. Now I'm going to go read the introduction of this book, going into root words. It says, there are no long words in English language. There are no long words in the English language. Even the example listed in this dictionary under Connie, which at 45 letters is the longest word in Webster's Unabridged, is only a succession of shorter pieces, each of which have a simple meaning of its own. Meaning that words, a big word is usually 2 or 3 or 4, how many ever small words put together to make a bigger word. Okay? It says, this book is about these fragments of words which may be called bases or elements and prefixes and suffixes, or may all be lumped together under the frightening appellation segmental morphemes. I have also chosen to call them simple word roots because they are indeed the roots from which the English language grows. Okay? So these root words is where the whole English language grows from. Okay? It's like the tree has roots, and then you see that the tree grows up from the roots. The English language has roots, or words that's put together to form the English language. Yeah. It says, if you are already familiar with word roots, you will not be surprised at the way English words, even technical words, which look long and difficult, explain themselves to you on the pages which follow.
Exactly. And the roots of a tree are the foundation of that tree. Okay? The roots are the one that hold the tree down when the strong wind come by. Okay, or when the hurricane comes through. Okay, so the root is the foundation.
Alright, well, matter of fact, since we said that, let's get a root word. Let's get a word, philanthropy. Philanthropy, it says altruistic, which means caring, concern for human welfare and advancement, usually manifest by donations of money. So yeah, the Rockefellers, they call them philanthropists because they give money to certain organizations. Alright, it says properly or work to needy persons by endowment of instructions of learning in hospitals, and by generosity to other socially useful purposes. The activity of donating to such persons or purposes in this way, to devote one's latter years to philanthropy. Okay, so we know what philanthropy is. Now, it says philanthropy, from late Latin philanthropia, from Greek philanthropia, kindness, humanity, benevolence, love to mankind, from gods, men, or things. From philanthropos, adjective, loving mankind, useful to man. From phil, now philanthropy is two words put together. Alright? From phil, which means loving, see philo, plus anthropos, mankind, see anthropos. Originally in the English late Latin form, modern spelling attested from 1620. So philanthropy is from philo, meaning loving, which is one root of one Latin word, plus another Latin word, anthropos, meaning mankind. So you put those two words together and you get philanthropy, which means loving of man, or what is it called? The descriptive linguistics, which means the meaning of something today.
Yeah.
They would say philanthropy means to be charitable or to give donations.
Yeah.
But the original word philanthropy means the loving of mankind.
Exactly.
All right, so
that would be the historical linguistics, or the diachronic linguistics.
Right. This would be the historical linguistics, meaning to love mankind.
Exactly.
All right, so back to this book. It says, but if you are new to the workings of root words, you are in for a surprise and a treat as you discover that even the most complex of words consist of very simple parts which are anxious to tell you all about themselves. Like this: philos meaning love, philanthropy, or philos meaning love. So anytime you see the word phil, you know that means love in the beginning of a word. If you see anthropos, like anthropology, you know that has to deal with mankind. So anthropos, as it says right here, means mankind. So anthropology, anthro meaning man, and ology means the study of. So you know anthropology means the study of man.
Yeah.
So this is why it's important to learn what root words are, so that anytime somebody come up to you and say anything, you already know what they're saying without having to go to a dictionary, because you understand what the root words mean, and it's just putting words together like a puzzle. Okay? So it says, but if you are new to the workings of root words, you are in for a surprise and a treat as you discover that even the most complex of words consist of very simple parts which are anxious to tell you all about themselves. Moving on, it says, although the word roots listed here derive from many sources, the book offers no dry as Dutch inquiries into ancient language long since dead, but a simple waking to awareness of the realities of living English. You can start by flipping the pages of the dictionary section to see how common technical words jostle each other for position. Okay.
I had something to say. It's like, it's in other words, philography, which means like someone that
loves you,
that collects autographs.
Okay.
Like a famous people. Okay. So basically, like he says, the word phil means love, and graphy or ography means graphics, or like drawing.
Language.
Okay. Exactly.
Writing.
So basically, they love the autographs, which the autograph is nothing but a drawing or a sketch, which is when you go to graphic school, or even if you go to architect school, you have to learn how to graph. Okay, and that's just writing on a piece of paper, basically. So that's how you understand if somebody comes and say, "Are you or they tell you that they're philography?" Okay, you know that means the love of sketch, love of drawing. Okay.
Right. So this is what words break down into. So once you learn the roots of words, you can understand the English language a lot better and easier without having to wonder or need a dictionary. And this is how you start. You start by looking up words, philos, anthros, and then you know what anthros mean. So now you'll understand anthropology, anthrophysics, whatever fucking word they want to put together. you understand philanthropy. Philo means love. You understand what was the word? Philograph? Philography. You know?
Which is a person that collects autographs.
Oh, pedophile.
Yeah.
Pedo and file. File means love. I think pedo means child. Yeah.
Sure.
Pedophile. Pedo means child, if I'm not mistaken, and file means love. So the love of children. So once you understand these root words, you can actually understand what people are saying without having you can never seen the word before, but you just understand the root words and you put them together, and now okay, I know what that means. You know?
Exactly.
So moving on, we'll go to prefixes and suffix. Now words have things called a prefix. Prefix, that's another pre and fix. Pre meaning on the beginning. Okay? So prefix is, well, let's go get the dictionary. Prefix, it says grammar, and affix placed before a word, base or another prefix to modify terms meaning, as by making the term negative, and as un and unkind, by signaling repetition, as re and reinvent, or by indicating support, as pro and prohibition. Pro-abolition. Yeah, prohibition. Compatible prefixes can work together as un and re and unrefundable. Okay, so that's a prefix. So what's an example? Let's give an example of a prefix. In the scripture, it goes into the gospel of reconciliation. All right, now let's read that, because the scriptures talk about how we are reconciled. It says it in the New Testament. People think that's talking about everybody. Oh, well, everybody's reconciled to Jesus Christ. But when you go into the understanding or the historical linguistics of the word reconciliation, then you'll understand what the scriptures is talking about when Paul says he has given to us the ministry of reconciliation. So let's go into that. All right, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 15. It says, therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Now, is this talking about any man? All right, well, how would you know if this talking about any man or just any man of Israel? Well, basically, you have to go into the historical linguistics of the word reconciliation.
Exactly.
All right, it says, old things are passed away. Behold, all things are new, or become new. All things are of God, who had reconciled us to himself by Jesus Christ, or YAHAWASHI, and had given to us the ministry of reconciliation. All right, so now, let's go into the word reconciliation. All right, reconciliation in the etymology. It says late 14th century from Old French reconciliation, and directly from Latin reconciliationem. It says noun of action from reconciliare. So let's go. It says see reconciliare. Reconciliare, 13th century. It says, I think they said 1300s. It says of persons from Latin reconciliare, to bring together again. It says from re, meaning again, that's the prefix, re, which means again. So you know, anytime you see a word that has re in the front, most likely it means again. So re meaning again plus ciliare, ciliare means to make friendly. Okay? Si conciliare. So reconciliare means to basically to bring together again.
Exactly. To make friendly again.
Make friendly again or bring together again. So what nation on earth needed to be brought together again? What nation in the Old Testament did the Most High God say he was going to gather together again? He said that about Israel. So we know that this is talking about Israel. Well, this is why we're bringing out to you about understanding words and about historical linguistics, which basically etymology. So that you understand these words and you go into the meaning of the words, and then boom, you get an understanding of what it means. Which is what the word, what was it? Philology means. Alright, so but in school today, to contrast it, in school today, they're going to teach you, what is it, descriptive?
They're gonna teach you prescriptive grammar. And they're gonna teach you descriptive linguistics.
descriptive grammar and
prescriptive grammar and descriptive linguistics.
That's what they're gonna teach you in school, which means the meaning of a word at the time today.
Exactly.
What it means now.
And how to say it.
And how to say it, right?
And how to pronounce it, how to dialect it or whatnot.
Right, but we as Israelites, we got to go into the historical linguistics or the etymology or philology of the word, which means the meaning of the word when it came into existence.
Exactly.
Okay?
Because we are reading a historical book.
Right.
Okay?
Reading a book that was written 2,000 years ago.
Exactly. Okay?
Well, the New Testament.
And the history was before that. Okay? And the Old Testament was written before that. Okay? So you have to know the history of the words in order to understand the history of the Bible.
What it's saying.
Exactly. And and the understanding. Okay? And what does everything mean? Okay? Because basically the New Testament is nothing but rebirth of the Old Testament. Okay? Just spoken by Christ. Okay, and the prophets.
Yep, so yeah, so that's what reconciliation means. So the gospel of reconciliation means the gathering together of Israel.
Exactly.
Basically. Okay, when you go into the historical linguistics of the word. So that's one breakdown of a prefix and how you need to understand prefixes and root words in the scriptures. So now we'll go to an example of a suffix. Alright, a suffix, let's go to the definition of a suffix. It says suffix, it says grammar, an affix that follows the element to which it is added, as li and kindly, something added to the end of something else. Okay?
Flashy.
Flashy, yeah. Things like that. So one word that comes to mind is bondage. Alright? When you look at the word bondage, it's two words. It's bond, which means to constrain, and age, which means the state of. Now, where did I have that stuff at? Yeah, age. In fact, let's look up the word bondage, like you said.
Bondage.
Alright, so here's the word bondage. Bond plus age. It's two words. Like we said, two root words that make one word. Alright, it says slavery or involuntary servitude, serfdom, the state of. Now why are they saying the state of? Because age means the state of.
Exactly.
So it says the state of being bound by or subjected to some external power or control. The state or practice of being physically restrained as by being tied up, chained, or put into handcuffs for sexual gratification. That's some other shit. Alright. Right here, origin, 12th century to 13th century, Middle English, Anglo-Latin, bondigium. It says see bond, and then it has comma, then age, showing you that it's two words.
Exactly. And then right here it says origin, which means original.
Right.
Okay? That's the original, basically the earliest state that they got of the meaning of the word, which goes back into etymology and philology.
Historical linguistics.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so bond plus age, which is root words. Alright, so age is suffix typically forming mass or abstract nouns from various parts of speech occurring originally in loanwords from French. We don't even have to read this. We don't even have to read this because it just told you age right there. Yeah. It tells you the state of the state. That's what the word age means. So
what about the etymology of the word age? See what they say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when you put that comma on the front, it lets them know that it's a
suffix and prefix.
They got a little thing right there too. Age, it says word forming element and noun of act, process, function,
condition.
which is the same as the state or condition.
Exactly.
From Old French and French age, from late Latin articum, belonging to, related to, originally neuter adjectival suffix, from Latin adus, suffix or verb of first conjugation. Right. So that's that's a lesson right there. We get one more scripture, Amos chapter 3 verse 7. That's a lesson right there. Hope we didn't make your heads pop off with all this technical term and shit. But we have to break it down, so that you understand it.
Exactly. It's Amos chapter 3 verse 7. It says, surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets.
Right. So the understanding of the scriptures is revealed to us because we go in and we're all these different types of scientists and philologists and goddamn etymologists, and we're all the ist that there is. Because the Most High revealed to us how to go in and study to show ourselves approved, to understand his word in the historical context and what it means today.
Exactly.
So that was the lesson. I hope you brothers got edified by it. I'm CHAARAWTAZA. This my brother Kayal from Jacksonville. And with that we say all praise to YAHAWASHI.
All praise to YAHAWASHI.
Double honors to our elders, GREATMILLSTONE. That's our elders.
Right.
We want to send our blessings out to all the brothers out there teaching the truth and sincerity. And we just say with that, YAHAWASHI Barakatham.
YAHAWASHI Barakatham.
Shalom, Markin.
Shalom.